Okay. I guess I could be a little bigger than that. Hold on. So, what's about to happen is, we're going to look at some comments that have been left on my channel, because I feel like a lot of people don't realize how hateful and cruel the comments I'm receiving are. And so, I want to highlight them, because it's important to me. Alright, it's important to me that people understand exactly what's happening to me. And I know I'm going to get the same response with their trolls. They're just trolls. No, they're not. They're not. Trolls are mythical beings that live under bridges and harass you for gold. The people who are saying terrible things to me are real, living human beings. Just because they create a fake account online does not mean that they're not real people. Does not mean that what they're saying isn't what they actually feel. They have created a fake account to be able to say what they feel without fear of people finding out who they are. That does not mean that it's not how they feel or that it's not the truth. People use that as an excuse to victim blame. You'll look at somebody who has been harassed for months on end, and instead of understanding that that person has been through a lot of torment, you'll say, well, they're just trolls. You could have just ignored them. No, you can't, because words have meaning. Words have meaning. And the words that are being said to me are extremely disturbing. So a little bit of a backstory before I get into the comments, because a lot of them are going to be about the same thing. My mother and my organs. A lot of people are very angry that I didn't give my mother an organ to help her live longer. Me and my mother were not close. She was not my mother. If we're going to be fully honest, she didn't raise me. She didn't love me. She didn't care about me in any way, and neither do my sisters or anybody else in my family. I come from an extremely abusive family. Generational abuse. They've been abused for so long they don't even realize what they're doing is abusive. My mother, by the time I was born, had already been an alcoholic for nearly a decade. She started drinking heavily when she was 13 years old. 13. She dropped out of school and started drinking with her father at 13. She married an extremely abusive man who beat her every night. He tried to kill a child that was inside of her. That child wound up being born with cerebral palsy. That was my little brother. My mother continued drinking, continued doing hard drugs. She was a prostitute for a while. She took anything she can get her hands on. After my father killed himself, she didn't stop drinking. It got worse. She would leave our brother in bed all day long so she could say, well, I only drink when he's in bed. I had to put her in jail once because she was so drunk that she hit my grandmother. She had been drinking rubbing alcohol, and she hit my grandmother. And I called the police and put her in jail for elder abuse. And she attacked the police. She bit the shit out of one of them. That was my mom. The woman who would get drunk and go running down the street barking at dogs. Wake up in a ditch somewhere. That was my mom. She spent 40 years. I think she was 59 when she passed, 56 when she passed. Started drinking at 13, so that's over 40 years of hard drinking and hard drug use and hard abuse to the body that she did to herself. And people are now saying, well, if you had given her an organ, why did I have to? Why am I expected to? I'm not the one that drowned her original organs. And the woman didn't care about me. Nobody is entitled to your vital organs. Not even your parents are entitled to your vital organs. But now people are calling me a murderer and saying that I killed my mother because I didn't give her one of my organs after she destroyed her own. Let's go to the comments so y'all can see. A new one right up there, of course. And it's hateful. They all, always. Vladimir Putin. How dare you? You lack of care or introspecting is astounding. You said you offered to give that organ to your mother in exchange for the truth. You absolutely disgust me, Adrasdea. You let your mother die. I started as a defender of yours, but your actions and statements have completely turned me around. You didn't give your own mother a part of you that would save her. That is disgusting. Yet you are owed a place to live, money for food from society, but you chose to let your own mother die. I didn't mean to hit that. Come on. I'll eventually hit the right spot. There it is. Okay. You let your own mother die. I offered a life-saving organ for my mother in exchange for... Most people would freely and excitedly offer their dying mother that organ. What the actual fuck, Mary? It has to be something in it for her. Pathetic. Welcome to the rest of your tormented life on Earth. She's disgusting. Reminder. The woman who was needing an organ actively destroyed her own organs for decades and would not have stopped if she received a new one. Why don't you respond to your comments? You withheld a life-saving organ from your own mother, who then died. And now you won't simply be because you drank too much and bruised your knees. Hatred, envy, disgust, contempt, deception. Those are the vibes I get from every one of your videos. My mom died. Here's how it's affecting my life. You're very mistaken in the fact that the vast majority of family members give their organs simply because they love the people they're helping. The fact that you automatically think there has to be an exchange speaks volumes as to who you all really are deep inside. A strong and loving person would have put everything aside to save the life of their mother. You seriously are a monster. I am so glad I do not have to live with the deeds you have done. I joked with my mom that I'd trade my kidney for a car, but of course I donated just because I love her. She's been in great health since this procedure in 2007. Mary makes me sick with her. I'll trade a life-saving organ for what I want you to say online. Her mom's death and Roberta's murder will haunt her for the rest of her life. If you cared, you would have helped your mom. You don't fit in. No one wants you. And that's not all of them. That's not all of them. A lot of them get deleted before anybody sees them but me. Last year, I made a video offering one of my organs to my mother if she would sit down and have a conversation with me. A truthful, honest conversation. It didn't happen. They chose for her to die rather than to tell the truth about the abusive shit that I have struggled with. And then they say that it's my fault. It's gaslighting and manipulation. And they're doing it because they want me to hurt myself. They want to hurt me so deeply that I take my own life. They have been doing this for over a year and will use anything they can to hurt me, including blaming me for my own mother's death, even though my mother was a heavy alcoholic, was heavily abusive, did not love me, and would not even take 5 minutes to have a conversation with me in her last days on earth. She had so many years to make a connection with me if she wanted to, and she never did. But it's my fault now that she's dead. It's my fault because I have all these fucking organs. It's my fault.